Hello everybody, K-Whip here, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Season of the Worthy and the update that was just released a couple days ago, introducing us to the Season of the Worthy. And I'm going to talk about things that I like that have been implemented in the game, and also some of the downsides of some of the things they've implemented in the game, and just give a bit of a sense of what has changed, and give my opinions on them. So we're going to start off with the big one, Trials of Osiris. Absolutely love that it is back. I'm very excited for it to be here. It's bringing energy into the game. I think more people are interacting with Destiny 2 since Trials has came back. That's certainly the case for my friend group. I've had 4 friends come back to the game that hadn't played in months and almost years. So personally, I was so excited that people are coming back for a playlist that we really loved in Destiny 1. And it's good that it's brought some enthusiasm to people, and people are getting up to play Trials and are happy that it's here, and it's bringing some life to the community, I think, and is overall a great thing to have had added to the game. That being said, it wasn't implemented perfectly. There is one thing that I hate especially about Trials, and that is the light level advantages. Because as I said, a lot of my friends are coming back for the first time in months and almost like a year, so they don't have high light level. They barely even got to 960 to be able to play Trials. And then once we actually got into the playlist, it was people that were already like 1,000 light, so they already had significant advantages over us. And my teammates were really struggling to do anything against these people that had such higher light level than them. Especially for people that aren't snipers and couldn't just get that convenient one-hit kill on your opponent. And so I think for a playlist that is supposed to be kind of the ultimate competitive environment and the pinnacle activity for Crucible, it should be a fair playing ground where everyone's on an even level to go into the game, instead of even small light level differences making pretty significant impacts. And so I think this is really hurting the Trials playlist right now, people just being able to stomp because they're higher light and have had so much time to grind the game. And for people that are maybe coming back and giving Destiny a second shot because Trials is back, you might be deterring them from coming back because it's so brutal to go up against someone that's 40 light level higher than you. So, love Trials, hate the light level advantage, and there might need to be some tweaks made to that system. And I can understand that it is a pinnacle activity and you want light to matter in some capacity, so I think just maybe lessening the significance of light would be good, but not getting rid of it entirely. And yeah, that's what I think about that. Next, we're going to move on to something that I hate, and that is the sniper rifle changes that have been made and their effect in Crucible. And what happened is that they basically made 2/3 of the sniper rifles in the game irrelevant. For the rapid fire frame sniper rifles, which are the lowest impact snipers, they brought their base impact down from 100 to 90, so that means they will now be a triple body shot instead of a double body shot, which makes them not really worth using and far worse. Which is an odd change because this is a sniper rifle archetype that wasn't seeing heavy use earlier on, because all the snipers were actually fairly balanced. They all had benefits to them. The highest impacts had the great body damage and could one-shot supers. The mid-impact sniper rifles give you a little bit more handling and aim assistance while still being able to take out supers, so they were also a pretty good option. And then the low impact snipers had the fastest double body speed as well as better handling and better aim assistance. So all of them had their own niche that really fit well and gave them a reason to be used in the Crucible. Now that the lowest impact archetype for snipers is a triple body shot, that makes it so it is far less relevant and lose one of its strengths being that fast double body speed, so it makes it not really worth using in comparison to like a high impact sniper rifle. Especially because the middle archetype for sniper rifles got nerfed with its precision multiplier, so that makes it so it can only do about 182 on a headshot to a super, so it's no longer going to one-shot supers, which makes it far less relevant. So now high impact sniper rifles are far and away the best snipers in the game, and the balance between sniper rifles has been lost. Another big change that happened in Crucible was the auto rifle buff. I'm going to say that I love this still, because I'm really happy that they changed up the meta. I mean, we don't need hand cannons and shotguns to be the best things in the game for the entirety of the game. And honestly, those two things still are really up there for being meta options, but at least there's something that can compete out there now, like the 600 RPM auto rifles, which received the biggest buff, despite the fact that they were probably the second best archetype of auto rifles before the patch. And I don't love how good Hardlight is right now. I think they went a little bit overboard on the 600 RPM buff. But overall, I'm still happy that auto rifles as a whole got better. The precision frame auto rifles are a lot more usable now, same for the rapid fire frame. And then the adaptive frame, which is 600 RPM, are just out of this world incredible. So I think they went a little overboard with 600 RPMs. I wish they would tone that back a little bit, or at least buff other things to keep them in line, but overall, I like this change, and I like the meta being shifted a little bit. Now for another thing that I hate at the moment, but might get fixed in a little bit, is what they did to emblems. Emblems used to kind of show a specific thing for every emblem that you selected, and now they are a bit more generalized and will show whatever you want them to show, but don't track specific stats anymore. So for example, for the Mage Shack's Proud emblem, the one that I always use that shows how many gold medals you have, it no longer shows how many gold medals you have, and there's no way that you can get it to show that. So that's something that I've been happy to see slowly go up as I played, and gave me something to kind of flex about a little bit and feel good about. But now the biggest flex that I can actually throw out there is something like my seasonal KD or my all-time Crucible kills, which are still cool to have that option on any emblem, but I would like to have specific emblems still be able to do specific things, which they don't do as much now. However, I will give Bungie some credit here, because I think in this week at Bungie Post, they said that they are going to add some of these stats back into being able to be tracked. So, not going to hate the emblem system forever, but just at the moment, it bugs me a little bit. A couple other quick things that I've loved. The nerfing of one-hit kill abilities. Fantastic. Really appreciate that they did that. Making shoulder charge worse? Good in my book. Making the one-hit kill throw knife a little bit worse? Yeah, that probably makes sense too. And then making handheld supernova way worse. Biggest good decision Bungie's made in a long time. So happy that finally went through. Screw you, handheld supernova. You got what you deserved, except that subclass is still going to be incredible. It's got a good melee, super got better, so still hate Nova Warp. But yeah, at least handheld supernova got nerfed. Overall, love some of the changes they made with subclasses, making things a little bit more relevant and switching things up a little bit, because Top Tree Stormcaller and Middle Tree Voidwalker were really dominant for Warlocks, and those both got hit. So that mixes things up a little bit. One thing that I don't like all that much is the change made to Inertia's Override and Middle Tree Striker, because now there's a delay to when Inertia's Override actually activates. I think it's half a second. And they said this was to make it so it's a bit more usable, and I guess just so it like lasts a little bit longer kind of. But when you're sliding over ammo using Inertia's Override, a lot of times you're relying on that filling up your magazine size, and that taking a half a second longer can really screw you over sometimes. So that's one change that I'm not too happy about, even though that subclass actually did get a little bit better, which surprised me because it was already quite good. Another thing I'll say that I love is the change to fusion rifles was probably pretty good. Making backup plan a little bit more balanced, taking down the impact when you use it is probably justifiable, because the way that it was working, it really was kind of like an exotic perk. And then the floor for fusion rifles being lower is probably a good thing as well, so they can't just absolutely map people as much anymore. So overall, that's some fairly good balancing coming into the way of fusion rifles. And then finally, one more change that I want to talk about. I probably should have made it a good change to end the video on, but I didn't plan accordingly. I just kind of winged this video. It's the maps that they reintroduced. Anomaly, Cauldron, and Exodus Blue. I don't know how they selected those three, especially Cauldron and Anomaly. Not a fan of. Every time I fly into the moon now, I am dreading it. Specifically in 6v6, because that's mostly what I play. It's just an absolute shotgun fest. I hate the way Anomaly and Cauldron play in 6v6, and I'm really disappointed that they brought those maps in, and just not feeling it at all. But yeah, those are the main points that I wanted to bring up in this video, the main things that I thought were significant to talk about. I mean, I probably could have touched on like Last Word being nerfed as well. I haven't used that too much, so I can't say how it's feeling right now. I think it was more of a problem on PC than console anyway, so I don't know if the nerf was completely justifiable. But I think it will still be able to serve its purpose fairly well. But yeah, that's probably a discussion for another video, or just one for someone else to make, I guess. And with that, that's going to be everything I have to say. I hope you enjoyed me just going through my thoughts on these things. Hope you're enjoying the Season of the Worthy. Let me know what your opinion is on these changes in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video, and see you later.